Welcome back, everyone. So here we have your standard arcade controller. Now, this is something you might use for fighting games, these sorts of things, and my wife actually bought this for me a number of years ago, and I really like this controller. I've used it for various consoles, and I would actually like to start using it with my computer, but I don't want to sacrifice the use with the consoles as well. So to that end, I purchased one of these guys. This is the multi-console Cthulhu, and this seems to be the best all-in-one solution to my problem. So let's take a closer look. The multi-console Cthulhu comes in its nice little anti-static bag here. It comes with a sticker, which is pretty cool. And then it comes with this single piece of paper here, and this sort of explains to you exactly what it does. And the design on this thing is actually really well done. So you can see on the paper here, this will tell you how to hook up everything on your Cthulhu, and I'll show you the PCB a little bit closer here. So, you know, for instance, you'd have like your, your ground here, and then you'd have button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then I can't remember the rest. I know there's another ground here, and I think one of these is a home button. So you can have up to 8 buttons, as well as start, select, and home, and they've got a couple of different ground spots. So really all you have to do is just take the wires from your buttons and hook them straight into these screw terminals, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now, the instructions don't come with anything to tell you how to hook this up to your consoles if you want. Now, the USB is on the end here, and I should note that it does not come with a USB cable, so you'll have to have your own, but most people have one lying around, so that's usually not a big deal. And then for the rest of the consoles, they actually tell you where to go online to look, and what you do is you actually hook them into these, you actually do have to solder for this part. If you just want to make a USB or a PS3 controller, then you're pretty much done at that point. You just screw your wires in and plug it in, and it's ready to go. But if you want to use it with any of your consoles, you are going to have to get out the soldering iron just for a little bit, but it's not too bad. So you can see we have these little solder points here, and we have 1, 2, 3 on the rows here, and then we have columns. I'm assuming that's ground, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, and is that U or V or something like that. But anyway, so it'll tell you which ones to solder your controller cables into, and generally what you're going to do is you're going to have to sacrifice either a controller or preferably a controller extension cable, and those can usually be had pretty cheap, and then you just cut the end off and they'll tell you, you know, where to solder the wires in. So this is a pretty cool kind of all-in-one solution if you got multiple consoles that you want to have one controller for, and just build a nice solid one for it. So let's get this put in our controller. Alright, so quickly before I install this and show you guys the result, just in case any of you are wondering about the wiring or anything, I'm assuming most of you probably understand how all this works, but I'm going to just give a very sort of quick and dirty tutorial for anyone who may be just brand new at all of this. So you actually have your arcade button here, and you'll notice that there are 2 terminals on there that you want to connect wires to. Now I recommend using, this will focus here, these quick release connectors here, and you can find these pretty easily, pretty cheaply at like a Radio Shack or something like that, and then you just sort of slide them on like that, and it's really easy to sort of change stuff around. If you did something wrong, you can fix it, that sort of thing. So basically what you want to do is your Cthulhu will have several ground points on it, and they're all common, so that means they're all the same thing. So you'll take the ground and you'll connect your ground wires into the various grounds, and you can even do it if you have one of these. Unfortunately mine only has 2 ends on it, but as you can see here, these 2 wires are actually both going to the same thing, and then it just jumps to the next one. Now you can actually buy these to where they jump to several in a row, and you can actually do that and just hook up one wire to the ground, and then you send it to every every button that you have, just one of the terminals. Doesn't make any difference which. And so if you have the ground hooked up, what it does is it sends a low-level signal to all of your buttons, and so they're all there. And then you get your other wire, and say, let's just pretend for for chuckles that this is button 1. So you'll take your quick connect here, and you'll hook that up to the other side. We'll pretend that the ground is coming out of there, and then you'll put this into the button 1 terminal, and you'll screw it down, make sure it's good and tight, and then your ground will actually send a low-level signal to this, and when you push the button down, it's just like that old experiment in science class with the light bulb. You just complete the circuit, and it'll send the signal back, and that's how it'll know that you've mashed the button. So all you have to do is send all your grounds to the various buttons, and then of course you have these sorts of connectors for your joysticks. They're all a little different, but usually the black is the ground, and then you can work your way over from there and just test them out, see which one does what. So let's get this thing wired in. Alright guys, so we're going to try everything out here now that we have it hooked up, and we're going to play a little bit of Darius. Now I will warn you, this is probably going to be really bad because I'm at a very awkward angle here. So first things first, we'll try out our coin insert button, and that seems to be working fine. And there's our start button, so hopefully you can see all of this. So we're going to try the stick out. Seems to be working fine. Fire button seems to be working, and our missiles seem to be working. Alright, and with that I think I'll call it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.